Dearest Mr. Rudy. Yes, folks, it's collection buying. We need to talk about it. A lot of movements. I know. You know, it's the first time anyone's ever called me Dearest Mr. Rudy. Usually it's a creepy basement dweller, soggy, leftover, market, evil, manipulator, ruins magic on the third day of every fourth pet. I've unfortunately had to make the adult decision of exiting the game of Mujik the Yu-Gi-Oh!ing. I was simply too addicted. Sorry. With 13K to go on a car, and no money for a down payment on a house, I knew I had to do some cost cutting as much as I do and always will enjoy this game. It's simply irresponsibly expensive. You know, I've been getting so many messages about people angry about these new prices and flashy things. It's unbelievable. There's a lot of people not happy with this new stuff. The cards I'm selling you here are from an EDH player's perspective. As you can see here, there are some highly sought after cards. I'm selling to you as a risk-free transaction compared to the wild world of eBay. So here we go. All right, folks. So very interesting little video today. We're gonna slow roll this talk. I got some cards to go over here. We got the heavy hitters right here. We're gonna go through. I just de-sleeved them all. I have not paid for this transaction yet. This is not a completed deal. So obviously, if you watch this video, that means the deal went through and I got permission to publish the video. If you don't, well, I can just say anything I want. I don't know. Soggy taco. So, yes, in the end of 2020, to everyone's surprise, the vintage market has completely turned a corner and everything went from literally like bear market, buy list being pulled, beginning of the year problems, to just straight 180. And now it's like, I don't know, you know, the crypto boom, the economy reinflation, the inflationary aspect of money printing from the Fed, you know, Bitcoin going through the roof. You got people angry at flashy new stuff, money starting to redirect to there's so many reasons. And of course, Commander EDH alone continues to explode as the hottest format. So because of that, we're seeing a lot of money flow to a lot of stables. Okay, so first, people want me to talk. Wheel of Fortune, Rudy. Yeah, it's revised. Rudy, is revised the new unlimited? That's probably the most common question. No, I don't think it is. I think revised continue to drift higher, but it's never going to have the traction in the legs and the growth that unlimited will, just simply by sheer supply. Do not underestimate how much revised is out there. If I can have a position in over 1,000 dual lands in revised, and it doesn't mean anything, that should give you guys a perspective, okay? Anyways, Wheel of Fortune, people are telling me these. I'm going to try to estimate what people are telling me these things are worth now because the market's moving so quickly. Obviously, the prices are not going to be too accurate. Wheel of Fortune, people are telling me this thing's going to be a $300-$400 thing, even in revised. It is what it is. All right, we're going to jump right to Tabby next. We got Tabby over here. This collection contains a nice little played condition Tabernacle. Overall, this is pretty nice. You got a little nicks and wears and chips on the edge, but I mean, I wouldn't grade this. You'd probably get yourself maybe like a 6 or 7 range, but very nice Tabernacle. Again, it's Legends. You should, you know, if that's something you're interested in, you should always have a position and stuff like that. All right. The worst Power 9 back in the day, or I'm sorry, worst by the lowest priced piece of power for the longest 20 years of Magic's history. And then people realize, wait a second, Time Twister's not garbage. Yes, it is, Rudy. It helps your opponent too. Well, the market has spoken, and it's very expensive now. As you can see, we got a very, very nice played Time Twister. Unfortunately, let me get Rudy's tool. Hang on. Unfortunately, we do have a single, not a double, but we do have a single roller line on the upper tranche location. So this does have a single roller line right there. You guys can see it. I don't know if you guys see what I'm talking about there. So we got a one roller line. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, the second roller line is so light, I'm not really going to put much into that, but we do have some roller line, but it doesn't make a difference because it's not a mint gradable thing. It's just a normal played condition Time Twister, and absolutely phenomenal. Have you seen, has anybody been following the price of unlimited power? Holy smokes. All right, next we're going to jump over here to the City of Traders. Obviously the Big Daddy, the Mac Daddy from good old Exodus, the bridge we cross in our life. Again, nothing, as you guys are going to see here, most of these cards are going to be some sort of light played, a lot of surf. You can tell these were played and slid on tables without sleeves, a lot of games and memories there, but very, very nice authentic collection. Nothing dramatic, no inking, nothing. Great card, only going to go higher. Okay, I know, I know. Gia's Cradle, Gaia's Cradle, the Cradle, Dr. G, whatever you want to call it. We got a Cradle here today, everybody. Yes, very well loved. Seen a lot of games. Boy, that surface is a little rough feeling. Look, it's $1,000 card. It'll go back down, stabilize probably between 3 and 500. But if you want a minty one, you're probably around 500. If you want a played one, you're around 200-300. Do I think you should wait or anything? If you can get that 2 to 500 range, I would recommend go ahead and building your positions. I would try not to go above 500 right now or 1,000. Try to wait for a little cool off after the FOMO hype train, but be very careful. These type of cards are not going any lower. I'm not sure. I don't think I even have a huge position in this. I was always focused on the sealed product in the Urza's life in the 90s. I didn't really focus on getting a lot of specific Urza singles. So I would assume my position is pretty small, as in like under 50 copies. Here we go into Force Field. Now this one is one of the few cards that is actually near mint, even though you have a couple little chips there. This is actually actual near mint. Very clean surface, no damage or scratching. Very clean front. That's a nice little near mint, maybe a near mint minus because some of the chipping there. I mean, it's not something you could really grade the card, try to go for a 9 or 10, but very nice card. Force Field is always one of the cards I always loved. And of course, I didn't even know until a couple years ago that the artwork extended from the Mox Jet. I thought that was the coolest thing. Is it Mox Jet? Yeah, it's Mox Jet. Wait, I don't know. Correct me, you guys. Anyways, absolutely love the card here. Love the art from Dan Frazier. So cool. Very underappreciated. And of course, back to similar to the Cradle era here. Now we're back to Sliver Queen Life. Same thing. These are the type of cards that are going to drive Stronghold boxes through the roof and drive the singles market through the roof. Now, again, this is my very surprising one here. Power Artifact continues. We got a very well-loved Power Artifact here, but who cares? Still cool. Power Artifact and Transmute have finally moved after so many years of talking about it. Mana Drain, again, not reserved list on this particular example. Still think it's very cheap. We even have a little surface bending there. Actually, it looks like it maybe even had a light crease at one point in time because there's warping in the surface where it was tried to bend back or possibly ironed out. Let's see what we got here. Oh, look at this. We got some item. You guys let me know in the comment section. I'm not the best on here. Is this the, I don't know if it's simplified Chinese or which version. I don't even know how many versions there are. Is it just Japanese, Chinese, and English for P3K? I'm not sure how many variants. I think it was only 2 or 3 languages, I thought. Anyway, so we've got this card. I don't know what it is. It's got an orange colors and everything. It's probably about $5. Not really a great card here. So then same thing. We got another one of these little foreign cards. Not very familiar. I think this one's maybe $6 to $7. I don't know. It's a picture of a guy. He's pointing to things. There's a bunch of people. Looks like he's maybe recruiting something. Maybe some sort of recruiter in the picture. I don't know what this is called. I would say it's a bulk card, most likely. All right. Now, more importantly, back to the good stuff here. We do have an unlimited Underground Sea. Obviously, not minty condition for gradable, but gorgeous card. Absolutely awesome. Unlimited duels are still, in my opinion, the most beautiful white-bordered Magic cards of all time. They are just stunningly beautiful. The colors are just absolutely just priceless, in my opinion. All right, so we got LED action over here, also known as the old Lion's Eye here from Mirage. Obviously, I don't have a big position in raw cards again. Same thing I talked to you guys about with Urza's because the Mirage era, same thing I told you guys. I focused on accumulating the sealed product of these cards, not the singles. So, City of Mr. B. This remains one I have probably one of the least amount of copies of in Arabian Nights next to Drop of Honey. In other words, probably under 50 copies because I never really went after this. I was never a fan of the card and the Chronicles reprint. This was one I really dropped the ball on and I screwed that one up. All right, so Mr. Grimm, also known as Dr. G here, also the mono, not, it's played, again, it's still cheap. There's nothing to say. You guys can beat me up. Make sure you thumbs down the video twice. Mana Crypt here. We actually have a true near mint condition. Look at that. Actual near mint. A little marks here and there, but I'm still calling this near mint. Original artwork Mana Crypt. No matter how many times in flashy versions Mana Crypt gets reprinted, I do not believe this is going to affect the original book promo. This is a promo. That's why it's got the weird symbol. The book promo and the original artwork version. Very last card here. Same thing. Just like Sliver Queen over here. Just like the Cradle. Just like we're City of Traders up here. These type of cards. We got the Mox Diamond from Stronghold. Again, these type of weird cards. These are all going to be continued to be, how do I say it? It's going to drive, they're going to continue higher. It has a higher supply in the world, but people are underestimating it. And I think that's really what the issue is. People always see, for the longest time, everybody knew cards like this, cards like the old time. We all knew Power, the Cradle. We all knew Force Field. We knew a lot of these things. And of course, yes, I know Imperial Recruiter and Imperial Seal, but it's still funnier that way. I think people always thought that because cards like this were in Stronghold, or cards like this were in Urza's, or cards like this were in Mirage, I believe people always felt those cards were never going to appreciate because there was always rumored to be millions in existence still. People always say, well, Rudy, the print run of these things, in each rare, there's probably at least in the hundreds of thousands. But see, it's really not about that. You guys, to remind, just a little 30-second story here. Lion's Eye Diamond, when it came out, was deemed hot garbage. People got pissed. When I was a kid, and my mom dropped me off at card stores, at LGS's here in North Florida, no joke, Mirage had come out. They had packs of Mirage, I think $3.49, I think, or if you bought $10 worth, maybe you got a free pack. I don't remember. Cards like this, I remember going to little Saturday get-togethers at the card store with when I was in I was young, everybody. I wasn't even driving yet. I wasn't even 16. I'm telling you all, these type of cards, we would open them in packs. People would get angry and rip the card. They would be so pissed because they pulled that as their rare instead of getting a Phyrexian Dreadnought type card. You see what I'm saying? Or what was it? Grinning Totem? Was that a card? Cursed Totem? You need to remember that. Just because the print run was XYZ, the supply is nowhere near that. It's very important to understand that. Now, cards like Grim Monolith, same thing. People were not going crazy for Grim Monoliths in the 90s. Remember that. Now, of course, other cards, like the Cradle over here, from day one, the Cradle was a home run. There's no surprise on that. So there's a lot more of these than you realize compared to a card like this and this. Just want to lay that out there. Same thing with Mox Diamond. It had the name Mox. It was always sought after. It was always good. I remember usually it was like $20, which was a big deal in the 90s. So on the end of this video here, I want to kind of jump through a few random things he had in here that I just kind of wanted to tally up. I just want to show you. First, we had a chunk of really cool Unlimited cards up here. So we had, some really heavy hitters from Unlimited. Obviously, beautiful, beautiful unplayed tutors. You got the old BOP Birds. You got Stasis. Of course, an uncommon Soul Ring. And, of course, some of the major heavy hitters in Unlimited. You got the infamous, that coloring on those Unlimited. You got the Vault over here, the Orb, and, of course, the middle copy artifacts. Some of the really, really awesome Unlimited cards. Again, nowhere near the value of an Alpha Beta Black Border, but still very cool. And I'm going to run through a few of these other little cards in this collection just because I thought they were worthy of a few second conversation. Scorched Ruins, again, Weatherlight. You guys know how I feel about Weatherlight. I've talked about Weatherlight for a long time. I always thought Weatherlight was the cheapest 90s box. I couldn't believe how cheap it was. And I think the market's finally like, oh, whoa, yeah, it is kind of stupid. Anyways, Doppelganger, nothing to say. It's epic. Canyon, more Weatherlight. This guy actually had these. I didn't know what the heck the deal was with these things. I was like, what am I looking at? What are these promo lands with a monster? No joke, everybody. That's exactly what I thought. And I had to Google SLD. I was like, what the heck set was SLD? Then I realized, holy crap, that's a secret lair of the Godzilla lands. Because I realized that in the last one. But when I looked at the first one here, when I was looking at the beach and everything, and I was like, what the heck am I looking? Then I realized the way in the background. But anyway, it was a funny little moment I thought you guys would appreciate. So I believe I believe it only came with 5, the Godzilla, the basic lands. They're probably not worth much. I mean, it's just 5 basic lands. It's probably not the most sought after secret lair, but whatever. It was part of the collection. Then again, we got some Ikoria. It looks like he was collecting the Godzilla series cards. We got the Virus card there. I don't think any of these are really, remember, these are not the foil fancy versions. These are all non-foils. I haven't price checked these things, but I would assume the non-foily fancy versions. And we even got the Japanese ones that were missing over here. Only 3 of them. Is that how many there were that were missing? I'm not sure. I don't think there's much money in that, but I think it's pretty cool. Then let's jump back over here. Chalice. It was a big deal in Modern. Does anybody care anymore? Divining Top used to be a big deal. Don't know if anyone cares. Chrome Mox, been reprinted so many times. I still love the reflection of the artwork thing. I think that's really cool. Noble Hierarch used to be a $50 card. Now it's probably $20. Dark Confidant, original Dark Confidant, original art, my favorite original art. Original, look at that set symbol. Original Ravnica City of Guilds 08, 06, 05. Wow, even that old. Bloom Tender, another one of these cards. Actually, I don't think that one's gotten the reprint hammer. I'm sure that's on the chopping block any day. Horizon Canopy, very cool card. Awesome future sight. I just like the framework on the card. Honestly, Kamigawa era card. I just like the hat. I just think it's a really cool piece of art. Gemstone Caverns, the Sphere. Mox Opal, really cool little card here. Not, again, reprinted. It's, again, going to have a lot of value dilution. Scroll Rack, I think, is actually reserve list. I'm not sure. The Stronghold... Now, here's some interesting stuff right here. We'll take a moment here before we end the video here in a minute. Scroll Rack is one of these. Are some reserve lists, but like the Hollow. That was always one of my personal favorites. I do have a 100-plus card position in that. Probably, I think my cost base may be around $5, $10 a card. That's just something I've always really liked. I'm sure eventually that's going to move up in price. Stronghold, not one of my favorites. Excavation's not one of my favorites also. Let's go here. We got revised cards. We got some revised, nice little spicy cards. Not a ton, very played. Tutors, I'm telling you, they're going to reprint them one day. They're not reserve list. But now we got a fetch land. Old school, original Shocks. Elish Norm, very cool. Original Breeding Pool. Tangle Wire, original. Our finale, a finale card from War of the Spark. We got ourselves a Thorn. Lorwyn, I think it was. Hammer, just reprinted recently. Commander, Docksides, more of that. And, of course, Shocks, Fetches. And then we're going into the home stretch here. As you can see, these are just, I just want to show you guys, just these are more cool playable cards, but these aren't heavy hitters. Carpet of Flowers. Ancient Tomb, very, very cool here. Nissa here, what is that promo? It was SLD. Oh, okay. Secret Lair, Stained Glass. Okay, maybe one of the hidden cards. Sterling Grove. Has that been reprinted yet? That's a very hot one. Oh, we were just talking about this, everybody. Here you go. We were just talking about these things right here. Look. About these Urza's cards finally moving up. And again, I still can't believe this card's like so cheap. And how Null Rod is still cheap just blows my mind. I think Null Rod was, what, $10, $20 for the longest time? Even now, with the buyouts, it's probably $30, $40. Still stupid cheap. World Tutors, don't like the Tutors. They'll be reprinted. Alpha Wild Growth. We got Original Shocks. Very cool. Original Shocks. Cavern. Man, that used to be a big deal. A lot of people lost a lot of money specking on that. Metalworker. There's my man. I love the Metalworker shooting out his beam of happiness. Love it. Vampiric Tutor. This is one of my favorite tutors, even though it's not reserve list. I think they even... didn't they do that in Eternal Masters? Or MM 2015? A great card. Original Therese, Force of Will. Not reserve list, but the artwork is. BOP, we got some revised cards again. Not nearly as valuable as the unlimited variants. And of course, we got the Call, like some Tacticians, Silence, Mind Sensor, Spy Masters, Dust, Root. So we got the Oomph. We got the Dryad Arbors, Flooded for the Onslaught Fetchies. And we got Pax, another Onslaught Fetchy. Odd and Owsy just reprinted, same art. We got some Fetch just reprinted then, or not reprinted, or I guess will be reprinted. Lotus Petal, very cool. Bloodstained, Rift, Caverns. And again, you got some Battle Bond, more Shocks. We got some Fetches. And recent, very expensive still, on the Commander card there. Mana Confluence, ending on... look at, oh my goodness, look at the wear on that. Look at that Sylvan Library. This is a Sylvan Library. Can you imagine the games on the sidewalk that this card has seen? Can you imagine the number of games and sliding that this original Sylvan Library from 26 years ago? Can you guys imagine? Makes me go like that. That's what it makes me do. That's amazing. And look at that thing. I almost love the condition of it. It's like put together, but it's like an authentic wear. I love that. So overall, that's the video today. Very cool stuff. I just want to give my final 1-minute thought here before we cut the video off, everybody. This stuff, specifically these mid-tier reserve list cards from Urza's and Strongholds and Exoduses and Legacies and Destinies and Sagas and Weatherlights and Exit, these things in the middle here are kind of the hot thing right now. People don't seem to be targeting the heavy hitters like these, but they seem to be really targeting this more playable EDH mid-range stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start to continue seeing dramatic moves in those. But my final thought, remember, if Lion's Eye and these cards, and if these become all $500 to $1,000 cards, Power 9 cannot stay that cheap. Remember that. You cannot say, oh, should I buy a Lion's Eye for $1,000? Or should I buy a piece of Power 9 for $1,500? Remember that. When the market moves and the water level rises, all the ships are going to have to readjust. So, hope you guys learned something today. As always, be safe. Enjoy the world of Magic the Yu-Gi-Oh!ing. Have a great day.